Welcome, everyone. My name is Amayan, and I am the founder and managing partner of Scale Up 42. Now, Scale Up 42 is a customer development firm. We started this company just before COVID started. So we started it off in November 2019. We work mainly with naturopathic doctors, clinic owners, and supplement retailers. And we provide all kinds of growth strategies and marketing support, including building websites, apps, social media work required to get their social media profiles up and going, search engine optimization, that's SEO, and all kinds of marketing. So everything that that any practitioner would need to basically build any kind of growth programs for their business, we provide that. We have been working with Breanne since like October of 2020. And it was a brilliant start right off the bat. And now, luckily, we have been able to build that relationship with Breanne, and we enjoy working with her, and she has been a true inspiration. So I'm going to quickly make an introduction for those who don't know Breanne, which I believe is like a very small minority of the group over here. So for me, Breanne is an entrepreneur, mom, social media influencer, naturopathic doctor, and above all, she is the most amazing human being that I have gotten a chance to work with. So I truly appreciate, and I have gotten a lot of things to learn from Breanne. So one of the motivations for me to invite Breanne and to start Scale of 42's webinar series with Breanne was the fact that she has so many things to teach, not just from business standpoint, but also truly inspiring people to do amazing things. And she's also the owner of wellness, a Wildside Wellness Clinic and Metabolic Reset Program, which is one of our top clients in the marketing space for Scale Up 42. So thank you, Breanne, for being a part of our very first webinar, and welcome.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for having me. Social media and starting your business can be very challenging and very overwhelming. So I'm really excited to share what I have learned in the past number of years in trying things. Some things worked, some things didn't, but at the end, when you can really get things dialed in, you can help impact more individuals and not lose your health in the process. So I see a lot of practitioners that are doing amazing things, but they're getting burnt out, and there's definitely an easier way. And we're going to talk about some strategies to help improve that as well.
Excellent, thank you. And that's, I mean, we are today gathered here with a diverse group of people, some who are just starting on their entrepreneurial journey, some of them who have been at it for quite a while, and they have to pivot, especially during these times, into the digital world. There's a possibility that they might have been running a thriving practice or a thriving business, and now they have to pivot because of what is going on. And clearly there is tangible evidence now that there's a lot that's going on where consumer behavior has changed, how people understand or learn about new services and resources out there, how they make their buying decisions and then finally take actions to purchase a service or interact or engage with a certain resource. So I would love to, but because we have that diverse group of people today, I would love it if you could start right from the beginning, if you could walk us through how it all started when you started off. So it will be great to start right from the beginning.
Perfect. So my background is in naturopathic medicine. I also had two wonderful surprise children while I was going through school. So when I recognized my very first clinic shift with a newborn baby, it's very challenging, and how am I going to manage wanting to spend time with my children and also do what I love in inspiring individuals to regain their health by really going back to the foundations and getting to the root cause of their concerns. So I wanted to create a strategy where I could share what I know and help individuals in a greater capacity, not just limited to the hours that I had available in the day to meet with individuals one-on-one. So I saw social media as a great opportunity to be able to share the information that I had on a wider scale. That led me to really understand where individuals were struggling with their health. And a lot of it is just the foundations and the accountability to stick with that. So what I created was a program where I'm able to connect with individuals, work with them, figure out what's going on, develop some strategies that would help improve their health, and then have them work with coaches to really hold them accountable to stick with the plan. What I found in one-on-one practice was individuals would come see me, they'd be super excited. Then at their follow-up, we sort of lost momentum halfway between. Things got in the way, they came back and like, how did it go? They're like, well, it was good. And then, I fell off track. So having the opportunity to have coaches follow them week by week really helped improve their outcomes. And then I was able to take on more of those initial visits. So I was able to take on more clients that specifically needed me, and the health coaches would allow them to follow through. Another big passion of mine is travel. So this pandemic's been really hard. And I recognize that having a practice, a one-on-one physical location, would be hard to balance travel and that practice. So I actually started my practice fully online because I wanted to be able to be flexible in where I was in the world and be able to travel there too. So that's been a really great thing until the pandemic hit. So I hope we're going to be going back to travel very, very soon. And social media for me initially was, of course, very challenging, and some of those, oh, I don't want to get on video and I don't want to put myself out there. Of course, that came up, but the more you do it and the more practice you get into and the positive feedback, and people will message you and be like, thank you so much for the information. I was able to connect with a practitioner in my area and just feel so much better. It's really rewarding when you get that feedback as well. Plus, social media is huge potential for advertising, and it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And thanks for that segue into social media. As you rightly said, like things are moving, telehealth is becoming a very commonplace nowadays. That wasn't the case maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And embracing telehealth has helped a lot of practitioners to actually pull back a lot of revenue. In fact, some clinic owners that I'm working with are nowadays, it's like they have got double revenue. Now they have clinics and they have telehealth. So now technically at one point in time, they can technically have 2 patients, one in physical location and one on telehealth with their with the naturopaths or whoever that clinician is that they work with, the practitioner working with them. So that's a great point that, where we are looking at social media, embracing social media. So to that point, like, it's one thing that we know that there are devices available, there are apps available out there, there are functionalities available. And from me as a tech entrepreneur, we build apps and we build these features for our clients and for the companies that we work with. But it's one thing that you have it, and another thing is you actually use it, right? What the utility of it and how you go about, what are the mental barriers that that you have faced when you started off? Like, what were those limiting beliefs that you may have had when you started off with social media?
Those aren't the people that you're going to want to work with. They're not good fits for you. Social media allows to build that know, like, and trust. So when clients or potential patients follow you on social media, they get to know you to understand if you would be a good person to work with. So we all probably have a similar message to share in terms of health, like health overall. Obviously differences here and there, but my message might be very similar to another individual's message, but that client will have a better experience with me or the other individual. So it weeds out individuals who might not be a good fit, and it really allows you to attract your ideal client with your messaging. In terms of the tech, when I started my business, I'm like, I'll just DIY everything. So I have used every single email provider, every single website creator, every single funnel generator. I've had them all. And I didn't have the limiting belief that I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, I can figure it out. I figured out this kid thing and school thing. I can figure out this. It is better to choose one and understand one perfectly and have it working well. I would create funnels, I would create email series. Half of them didn't even work. Like they weren't connected at all. And we found that when we were going through, there was like, what is this? What is this? And like, oh, I tried that, it didn't work. So if you are good at it, if you like to do it, great, do it. But if you don't enjoy doing those things or it's not working for you, I would just recommend delegating it to someone, because then it's fixed and it's there. It's okay to experiment, because that allows you to, especially when you're starting out, figure out what messaging is going to work, how you'd like to present it, what your niche is. And then you can always change. But if you have the technology properly set up and it's one, it creates such a better patient experience, because when patients come to you or clients come to you, it's confusing for them. They're in a heightened state where they don't feel well. They really need it laid out quite simple. And if you can create the technology in a simple way that improves their patient experience, in my opinion, they have better outcomes, because they're not overwhelmed, they're not confused, they know exactly what they need to do to access the information, when to follow up. So having that technology in place really streamlines it, not only for you, but also for the client experience.
Awesome. And we will talk a little bit about technology and how we are building the funnel or the customer journey. The term I like to use is the customer journey. We'll definitely talk about that. What I would like to know more is, how do you choose your content? Do you have any framework when creating the content? What goes in your mind when you're creating it?
Mm-hmm. So I like to keep things fairly flexible. I know a lot of individuals will plan out their content, they'll have everything scheduled nicely, and that is a great strategy for me when things come up in terms of questions I'm getting asked consistently. On TikTok, you can add a Q&A. So I'm always pulling from the Q&A, looking at the comments, because if people are asking the same question over and over again, that's the information that they want. So I just print out actually, I don't know if I have an example here, but I actually print out a calendar, and then week by week, I have different themes. So maybe one theme might be, this week is going to be a lot of thyroid because I'm running a thyroid webinar. And then the next week might be PCOS. So you have the theme in mind, and then you generate posts based off of that theme. So if week one is thyroid, you might say, okay, I'm going to talk about what is the thyroid? How does it work? Maybe you can talk about thyroid testing, or maybe you can talk about some key nutritional or supplementation or lifestyle strategies for thyroid. It all ties in that week. It's not necessarily for your clients that are viewing the content. It's more just to give you an idea to stay on track. Then your next week, you go down to PCOS, and maybe you talk about what that is, maybe insulin resistance, some key things that you might see on blood work, what to test for, and then you just repeat that process with topic to topic. I'm a huge fan of repurposing content. So I'll often start with, here's the blog. And if you structure your blog in terms of the way you'd write an essay, so you've got your intro, you've got your 3 body paragraphs and your conclusion, that makes it really easy for your social media post is the intro, first one, what is the topic? Then your next 3 posts can be the body, and then your final post can be what you've concluded about it. You can also take your blog and repurpose it into a video. So for a lot of individuals starting out with video, it becomes less daunting or less anxiety provoking if you have a framework. So you've already written the blog, you've already got the social media posts. So now you're prepped and you're well versed in that information just to speak it. And then you just repurpose all of that in a nice email at the end of the week saying, here's what we talked about this week. So now with the exact same content, you've made a blog, an email, and all your social media posts. Same content.
Excellent point there. And repurposing is a great asset, and it's a strategy that one should. It's not that hard to strategize it once you have put together something, and repurposing can help your. I mean, it creates more value for the content that you have already created, right? So there is this analogy of writing a book, right? So your blog is like, or your video could be, you could pick one, like either a blog or maybe a video content. It's a book, and then you have a paragraph and you have a sentence, you have a page and a paragraph and a sentence, and you can break it down to such a small level and create subcategories that you can use a sentence as a Twitter a message, if you can use a paragraph as a social media post, and you can use a page as a video, again, like, a long form of video or YouTube video. And all of these, especially with videos, if you're starting off with a video first, then you can use tools like, there are lots of transcription tools like Sonic's AI that we use. You can download that, like you can put it in there, you can download it, you have a blog ready, right? You have just spoken about it. Like, it doesn't even take, like, and there are lots of clients of ours, they say, we send it to them for SEO purpose, and we say, hey, could you please write a blog on PCOS? And they would say, okay, fine, I'll write it. And I did not find time during my day-to-day. And like, why don't we just sit together and half an hour, just have a conversation about it? We'll ask you questions, you just answer them. And as simple as like just putting it in the transcription tool, and then there your blog's ready, and you start just edit it out for like 15-20 minutes, and within an hour you have got a very a really significant amount of content available for different platforms right away. So that's a really great point of what you mentioned about how you go about doing it. So have
Can
you
I jump in there for a second?
Yeah.
I wanted to share my book that I wrote. I literally took exactly that, videos that I had. So my book, I did the framework of here's the 12 chapters. I took the audio from videos that I had done, transcribed it, there's a chapter. Blogs that I had already written went into a chapter. I would just piece them together. So if you are wanting to write a book, just get in the habit of consistently blogging, maybe one blog a month, one blog every couple of weeks, depending on how, or every week, depending on how fast you want to get through it. Then by the end, you just piece it all together. You can self-publish same day on Amazon. You're good. So that definitely helps. And then in terms of repurposing content, your social media, you're getting new followers each week. They haven't probably scrolled down to the very bottom of your Instagram to see those posts. So you can always take posts that you've previously posted, bring them up to the top, especially ones that have performed well. You can copy the text, post it again, maybe with a different picture if you want, or even sometimes I use the exact same thing and just repost it or reshare it.
Excellent. So to that point, Breanne, now the content that we have developed and we have broken it down in different pieces depending on the kind of platform that we are going to use or repurpose this content for. How do you measure success of the content that you would put out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely having those analytics is really helpful. So now, since working with you, I'm very good with making sure that we're being analytical in what we're posting. So my link in bio for Instagram and link in bio for TikTok has specific links that we can track where are individuals coming from. So for my webinar that's upcoming, I have a certain link on TikTok, certain link on Instagram, and a certain link that I would send out through email. So then you can track those analytics to see what platform is performing the best for that particular area. Did I have that previously? No, I flew by the seat of my pants. I winged it, hope for the best. Yep. So if you don't have those set up, you could also look at, are people commenting? Are people sharing? Analytics on TikTok and Instagram are definitely helpful, so you can see if people are engaging with your content. That's a great strategy to use as well. But if you can track it as easily with a link, it's much easier and cleaner. And tracking is key, right? So I can now see, because it's properly set up, who has booked calls, like discovery calls, based off of my content and where did they come from? Because if you're aware of where you're getting the best return on your time, then you can focus more energy in that platform. Perhaps one's not really performing for you, so you don't want to spend as much time there and you want to focus on somewhere else. There was a great question in the chat as well about repurposing content and not wanting them to get bored with the same content. I find that individuals have to hear the same thing over and over again for a prolonged period of time before they take action. And not everybody will see every single one of your posts. So I, over a number of years, have talked a lot about intermittent fasting, or I've talked a lot about paleo, and I'll still have clients come to me and say, so what do you think about intermittent fasting? Right? So they haven't always seen every single one of your posts, and sometimes they just need to hear it presented in a different way or hear it multiple times before that aha moment goes off.
That's a great point again, Breanne. I mean, it is a proven fact. I mean, there are studies that have happened with that that at least a user on an average takes about 7 to 10 impressions. It requires 7 to 10 impressions for them to actually take some action, and that action may not even be a purchase action. It is just about clicking on a particular ad or just going to your profile. So the average has been somewhere around 7 to 10 impressions of a certain content or an ad. Another point to the repurpose of that repurposing that content is there are different types of consumers out there who engage with different kinds of platforms. A little bit of an older demographic is on Facebook mainly as compared to TikTok or some other new and upcoming social media platform. Slowly, we are seeing the move towards Instagram, where we are now embracing Instagram as much as we were, as much as we had embraced Facebook as a marketing tool about 5 years or 6 years ago. Now Instagram is coming to that position, and slowly TikTok is going to move up and take that position eventually. So each content, and there are different kinds of audiences that you want to reach out to, and repurposing helps with different kinds of platforms and helps you to reach out to those to those audiences as well. So it's absolutely a great strategy to repurpose.
And we've all been subjected to this, right? So you've probably looked at something online and you had, oh, that's cool, that thought, but you didn't purchase. Then all of a sudden you go on Facebook and more of that same stuff is popping up, or you go on a website and you're being advertised again for it. So companies are already strategically using this repurposing of content. And I'm sure you bought something because you saw it a second time through an ad, right? Or you've had clients that'll say to you, you know, I downloaded something from you and then you just kept popping up everywhere. So it was a sign. It's like, no, it kind of was a pixel. It was kind of tracking and targeting you, but companies are doing that for sure. Absolutely. Another question here, are social media platforms easier to are some social media platforms easier to produce content than for others? It depends what types of content you like to do. So for me, recording a video is really easy. Recording a short video is particularly easy and time efficient. So I really like that aspect of TikTok. I find it's very easy to do. Instagram Reels are another one, if that's easy for you to do as well. If you are not wanting to do videos, then TikTok's not going to be one that's going to work for you. So if you can produce content in the form of text and you really like that and that's easier for you, then maybe choose something like Instagram or Facebook.
Great. And to add to that point, Breanne's fantastic point again, there is one, like earlier we started off with the limiting beliefs, and there's a lot of practitioners that we work with. They don't want to be on video. They don't want to put, you know, those short clips that quickly are consumable, right? So from marketing standpoint, like when we marketers think about it, there are two types of contents that we are looking at. One is a lean in content and we are lean back content, right? Lean in content is those videos where it uses all the faculties of the viewer's mind to just make sure that, oh, I want to watch this, otherwise I might miss something, right? But if it's an image, just an image of a poster, visual, just text, it's a lean back, which means that I have bandwidth to consume other information at the same time. So I'm going to lean back and I'm going to read it. I may not fully consume it. So one of the reasons why Instagram stories and Facebook stories or TikTok and now YouTube shorts, which is coming up as well, are really working really well for advertisers or content creators, because these are lean in content, right? So people have to lean in and consume that content with 100% focus. Otherwise, they will miss something, and there's always that fear of missing out, right? So they always want to consume that content and go for it. There are also, but however, like other than the video part of it, there's also, I believe that at Scale of 42, we believe that um, the there is space for those who don't want to do videos can do use tools like promo.com. It allows you to buy short videos and have got categories of different kinds of videos that you can use, and then quickly change the text, just like if you're using Canva. And I think Canva has become a very common place for all the lots of naturopathic doctors and healthcare practitioners are using that. So if you use promo is like Canva for just videos, right? So you can have short videos that if you don't want to buy that tool, and you can use it. If you don't want to buy it, we have it. We can work with you on that one. So with what, but we have to also remember one thing with videos, because or the short videos like TikTok stories or Instagram stories, it's a lean in. Consumer is very much connected with you, whereas a lean back content, it's okay to have that lean back content as well, but then you have to have some additional effort that needs to go in, like tagging and hashtagging, right? So you have to use all those 30 hashtags so that you are able to find yourself among the other kinds of content that people are posting with those hashtags. So you are reaching out to those consumers who are following certain hashtag, or you are mentioning some other companies or brands or your collaborators, so that you get that audience as well. So it's you can either choose to do lean in or lean back, or a hybrid of both. But no matter what you pick, there will be a different way of strategizing around that, which is going to be important for the success of any social media campaign.
And in terms of the videos too, best for engagement, best for algorithms does appear to be live. Now, if you're not at the point there, that's absolutely fine. I would record, like you can record those clips. If you don't like it, delete, record again. But again, just having it done is better than having it perfect. And the things that you worry about are often not what individuals are worrying about. You're not being judged for it at all. You can also, if you're not wanting to have your face on, you can record a little explanation of a lab that you ran, or perhaps you record a little explanation of your plate, right? If you're doing some nutrition stuff, here's what I whipped up today. You can record you just making it, throw some sounds and things like that on it, and then work your way up to having you on the camera. That would definitely be helpful. When I started my practice, the reason I had my own limiting beliefs and fears of social media, because I had, not to get too personal with me, but I was in an abusive relationship where I didn't want anybody to know where I was, where I lived. So social media was very scary for me to get on. And a lot of that came up. But you can get over that limiting belief by keep practicing, right? And people want this information. And if you're not sharing this information with individuals, someone who could really need it doesn't have access to it. So take it as this is not about you. You're actually preventing somebody from getting the really good information that they need by not doing it.
That's an amazing point. And I was going to, one of the questions that I had put down here was your motivation, right? Like, I remember one of the once we were talking and you said you said something like, you have to wake up and put the makeup on and then do it. What motivates you to do this, right? Like and you are highly engaged. Uh, you're highly engaged with social media and your audience. So what motivates you to get out of bed, even on that day when you are not feeling it, but you still have to do it? What goes in your
Yeah.
mind there?
So for me, having a physical practice where my exact location all the time was advertised made me very uncomfortable. And I needed a different strategy. And that's where virtual came in. It just worked for me because I could be anywhere and no one needed to know where I was. So if I didn't have the capability of doing a physical practice, I need something different, right? I have all this debt from school. I needed a way to make money somehow. So that motivated me. Plus, my kids are a huge motivation. You know, a single mom of 2 kids, sole provider for them. That kind of lights a fire under your butt. And I truly love what I do, right? So I get that big dopamine hit for social media when those views go up. You kind of got to check that, right? So your views go up and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep doing this. And then when your views are down, you're like, well, this is dumb. I quit. So that'll come up too. But you kind of just push past it and you keep trying new things. And I think it's fun to try to figure out what is trending and what's working and what people like. And the more you do it and the more positive reinforcement that you get, and hearing individuals just being so grateful to be able to find this information really does motivate you. Absolutely.
Yeah. So especially when those moments come when you are, those hits, like there are not as many likes as you expected, or how do you, like, what's your thought? Like, at
Mhm.
what point do you say, okay, I'm going to continue doing what I'm going to do because maybe I don't have enough data, or it's time to pivot or do something else?
Mhm.
What's your strategy there?
It's always so frustrating because the videos that you spent so much time on and you feel like have such good information, it's like, why did that not get the views that this silly one did? Sometimes it's just trial and error, or you posted at the wrong time, or you chose the wrong song, or you used the wrong hashtags, or you didn't have a long enough comment. And I think we have to remember that no one knows the algorithms, right? So we can try to figure it out and we can try to hack it. And sometimes it's just luck and you just have to keep trying. Um, and so, yeah, sometimes it's really just about the timing, the song you chose, and it can be frustrating, but then you're going to have that one that does really well, right? One of my TikTok videos, it's so close to having 1 million views on it, and there's nothing fancy about it. The lighting, like I thought lighting had to be so good. I'm not even saying anything in the video. My eyes are just moving and there's some text. So there's an opportunity to just create very simple videos, even if you're not talking. Put some text on it, put some good song on it, and then you wouldn't be able to pay for 1 million views, right? Like even if you went on TV, you probably sometimes you have to pay to go on TV too.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
But you wouldn't get that exposure.
Yeah. Agree. And there are so many different kinds of people, right? I mean, we live in our social circle. We believe that there is a certain group of individuals and there are certain mindsets that we are so accustomed to that we completely forget about. There is a whole world out there, and we know probably handful of people, and the proportion of people, a percentage of people that we know, and that the influence that we have is negligible as compared to all the diversity in terms of the mindsets, the lifestyles, and the behaviors of people. So diversifying content definitely helps to connect more. Eventually, it is very expensive to diversify, right? Like you can't have 5 or 7 or 10 different types of styles and ideas running together, but it definitely helps to diversify the content quickly, find what's sticking, what's not sticking, do these tests and and iterations, quick iterations, and identify what kind of content is really working for you. And after maybe 3 or 4 or 5 attempts, and there's a study done by Google, and they use that in one of their companies called Google Ventures, where they use 5 qualitative surveys, right? So if you are doing a qualitative survey of or some kind of a format of a content, whether it's a video content or it's a audio content or whatever that type of content is. If you get if you put 5 pieces of content out there and then you say, oh, okay, this 5 pieces of content did not get as much, as much response as my other 5 pieces of content got, then you know that you can eliminate that. So the magic number is 5, and if somebody wants to really test it out, you can have 3 tests, A, B, C, and create 5 pieces of content for each of that category A, category B, and category C, and see which one is doing well. And you will see that, okay, if category C is doing well, then you got your winner, right? So that's how you can also build that content data.
That's the frustrating thing too, is perhaps your content is good, it's just the wrong photo or
Yeah.
it's the wrong time. And I really I'll produce the content, but I want it to reach as many people as possible in the right way. So kind of having someone to help understand, is it just the image that's wrong? What if we changed it so that the video was up here versus down below? Will people click more? So understanding all of that is important too, because it can make a difference. It's not that the content necessarily isn't great,
Yeah.
but again, like, listen to my biggest thing that I use to know what content to produce is listening. So I'll listen to the pain points of my clients. I'll listen to what hasn't worked for them in the past. What do they need more information on? What are they curious about? What are they specifically coming in? Like, no one says, oh, my insulin resistance is really bugging me today. It's what is actually the presenting symptom and what it's preventing them from doing. So if you can speak on that level, then other people will resonate with that more, because no one's alone. Everyone experiences things in a similar way as well. Sharing your story is definitely helpful, right? If people can resonate with you and what you've been through, and oh, she's been there, she gets it, she hears me, maybe she can help. That's a great piece of content to produce as well. In terms of frequency of content, it's all about consistency. So you can't just post 6 times on Monday and leave it for the rest of the week. It's better to space it out. I try to post every single day, a static post on Instagram, stories every single day, and it just becomes part of what I do, right? So individuals like to see like recipe ideas, or you get something that you found on Amazon that you really like. You could share that for them, or kind of behind the scenes of what a visit might look like. Then they get to know you there. On TikTok, I do try to post 2 to 3 times a day for videos. But again, that doesn't always work out, right? Homeschooling, apparently I'm a qualified teacher, which I disagree with. Got this in the background. So it doesn't always work out, and that's okay. Sometimes I'll batch make video content. I'll just record them all on the weekend. If I showered, my hair looks okay. And then I'll put them together the day that I'm posting them, put some text on it, choose the songs. If you're getting into TikTok, there's a website called Tickboard that'll show you what songs are trending versus which ones are going down. You have to put a song on TikTok or it's not going to be seen by anyone. Even if you don't like the song, just turn the volume all the way down. At least the song is on there for people to see.
Perfect. And how do you choose to, what have you been doing differently now that over a period of last year or so? And I ask that specifically because we are in pandemic, and although we are talking about reopening in June, especially in Ontario and Toronto, but still, what have you done differently now in the last few months? What has there been any change in your strategy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So recently, in the past 2 months, is when I started TikTok. Individuals on Instagram and Facebook have been following me for a longer period of time. They know what I do. They're kind of interested in what I do. If you're starting a new social media platform and people have no idea who you are, you don't necessarily you need to warm them up and educate them a little bit. Mm-hmm. So for that audience, I'm always sending them to more information. Take a quiz, join this training, so that they can learn more about what you do. Versus on Instagram, I'm more sign up for a discovery call. Let's see if it's a good fit. What I found personally was having that discovery call link on a new social media platform. People would sign up, but they would be like, whoa, that's not what I was expecting. I'm not interested in that. So you really want to make sure that you're weaning out new people as quickly as possible. So if you are doing discovery calls, it's not going to eat up a lot of your time. You want qualified people. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm doing more quizzes. So we have the quiz that people sign up for. They get a series of emails with action steps. Those have all been rewritten and they're now tracked. So we know what individual has made it to email 3 versus email 1. And now my funnels actually work. So there's not like errors in the links or they didn't get the email. So that's been really nice. And the tracking has definitely been helpful. So now I can see when I see a bump up in discovery calls, I'm like, okay, what we're doing is working. So the analytic has definitely been helpful. Still doing consistent social media as much as possible, but it's more like it's not perfect, right? Nothing has a high quality setup with the camera and the mics and all of that. I just have it done because at this point with the chaos that goes on in all of our lives right now, done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
So nothing's as polished. It's kind of just happy to be here.
Yeah. Progress over perfection, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one thing that I would like to add to your point is that when it comes to tracking, you can set up different kinds of trackings. It's very important. It helps you to understand where the users are coming from, what kind of actions they're taking either on your website, if they're looking at your email, then what if you have a certain kind of a service that you're driving, how many emails does it take for a user to convert from being a user to someone who has booked a discovery call or bought something from you. So the tracking definitely helps. One of the things that we always we advocate is that marketing funnel where the user behavior can be tracked, right? Where you are putting out content, like to your earlier point, where TikTok, you're using it just to create awareness of your services versus when it comes to Instagram, it's more of a bottom of the funnel marketing, which you already have your followers, they already know you, and then you are putting out the content to get them to sign up for something, right? So when someone is looking at a discovery, just getting to know you, it will take a long time for, if you're going to use any platform, doesn't really matter which one it is. In your particular case, TikTok is the awareness platform, but someone starting off new and not many people know about them, Instagram could be an awareness platform where they will start putting out content just for people to know them, what they're doing. They may get appointments and they may get new patients, but the frequency may not be that as consistent as probably what you are getting after you have built that audience for you, right? So it is very important to set up those funnel layers where you say, okay, this content and this channel is going to be my awareness channel, this content and that's kind of call to action is going to be my consideration or action phase. So that way it helps to streamline the effort as well. So
yes, streamline, since we redid things, is way better. Like when I first started, I would create a new lead magnet and promote that lead magnet, new one every single week. And I was just like, get people here, get people here, get people here. But there was a huge missed opportunity because if someone's already signed up and showed interest for one thing, you need to warm those people up. They're already there, they're interested. You don't have to just keep getting more and more and more with all these different things. And now with, one solid funnel, you can always ramp it up or ramp it down based off of where you are in your business, or if you need more clients, you just ramp up that one funnel to get more people in. And if you're not retargeting or following up in a strategic way with people who have already signed up once, then maybe 30% of them would have invested in your services if you just had that follow-up.
Yes, there's definitely an evidence out there that about 20 to 30% people come back and they come to your site once, but they get distracted for a certain reason, and they may they may not purchase, and they will forget about us, right? Because there's so many things going on out there. They're bombarded with so many marketing messages that they forget about taking action on the one that they had started with you. So retargeting these people is extremely important, getting their emails, sending them emails to just remind them of what you had, what was the last touch point that they had with you, and then providing them with something new to connect or engage with, and then building that. So for instance, what we are doing with Active Campaign and building your marketing funnel with your metabolic quiz, and then that moves into something else, and that moves into something else. It just makes beautiful flow that creates a user. When that user moves from your TikTok to Instagram, or Instagram to website to the quiz, and from quiz to getting a few emails, and then they're booking a discovery, and from discovery they buy the program, and so on and so forth. It's um,
I
it's
got
it's
it.
yeah, it's quite amazing, right, to see the user flow, right?
Yeah. And again, it comes down not only to, it's not about just signing people up and getting people invested in your business, but it's also from the customer experience. If it's easy, straightforward, everything ties into one, they'll have a much better experience versus one time you were directed to this app, then to this website, then to this email, and it's all different content. It can become confusing for individuals who are already confused about their health and wellness.
Right. Uh, so I would ask the audience if they have any other questions, they could please put them in chat bot. If they're specific something that they wanted answer to and they might have yet not found that answer, please feel free to put your questions in the chat bot, and we will do our best to answer that. Being cognizant of time, we only have 11 minutes, so we'll try our best to answer all the questions that come through it. There was one question that I guess, Breanne, you touched base on that with regards to algorithms and all. You're right, like the algorithms are not many, like there are more than 200 factors that Google, takes, and we don't even know, consider like 200 more than 200 variables considered by Google. Which one is important? They keep changing. Recently, they came up with an update that they're going to change the algorithm, the way they're going to look into how they're going to rank websites on their platform from SEO standpoint. Social media can help you to also augment that SEO. It's super helpful because when you're putting your links in the social media, many people are tagging you and sharing your content. It helps really. It helps to build that SEO muscle, right? So I see that there are a few questions coming in. All right.
Yeah, I can definitely help with the hashtags ones.
Mm-hmm.
What I do for hashtag, and again, it's trial and error. Everyone's going to have something different that they suggest, and no one knows, right? No one, unless, I don't know, if you know the algorithm person at these social media platforms, maybe you have it in. I don't know. But what I do is I use a combination of big general hashtags as well as specific hashtags. Specific ones would be if you have a thyroid post, maybe you do Hashimoto's because it's specific to that. It has a lower number of followers for that hashtag, but it's specific. And you use a combination of small, medium, and large. What you can do is on my iPhone, I have saved hashtags so that whenever I press #1, I have all my intermittent fasting hashtags. When I do #2, all of the hormone hashtags come up. #3, so it's very easy just to stick them in. Or you can do some research on trending hashtags, or if you look at best hashtags for blank, you'll be able to see which ones come up. Best hashtags for blank will all be really broad, high performing. So maybe you'd want to narrow it down with some specific ones. Perhaps, I'm in Guelph, I might do Guelph naturopath or Guelph business, something like that that's more specific to you.
To add to that, Brianna, actually, the way we do hashtags for our clients is we can do as many as 30 hashtags on Instagram, right? So we basically divide these hashtags in 3 different categories. again, I'm a big fan of the model where we look into the awareness thing, so reaching broad. So if we are to do with working with a naturopath who treats children and does pediatrics, then we have hashtag kids, which is a broad hashtag to have, and it can reach parents, it can reach mom groups, and so on and so forth. But then if there's something specific with regards to that practice, like hashtag IBS, right, that may have a very specific following, and that will reach to only those people who are looking for or who are consuming content which is regarding that particular health concern or that particular topic. So you can divide it as, you can go broad as hashtag kids, and then it can go as specific as where you want. And then you will know that you have a well-rounded strategy where you're creating awareness from that, reaching to those groups that are following certain hashtag at a broad level, and those who are looking for something specific as well. And that's how you keep on increasing your funnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good. I had a question about outsourcing social media content. Because most of my content is video, I can't really outsource that. Like if you're doing videos, it has to be you. In terms of my social media post, I did recently actually hire someone that will go through my old content and put together new content for it. So she'll pull content that I already have from guides or from my blogs and create social media posts for that, sends them back to me, and then I'll post those static posts. She does 2 for me a week. The TikTok app for editing, I might have to be a little more specific, I forget. Tickboard was the one that you can look for the songs. One of the things that I've realized, I'm big on repurposing. So I try to repurpose a TikTok video and a reel at the same time. What you have to be mindful of is the licensing for songs is not the same on both platforms. So you can't use a song on TikTok and pull that audio and put it over to Instagram. It'll get removed. So you have to make sure that the song is available both on Instagram and TikTok and add it separately on both of those platforms. In addition, there is an app for captions that I was using. It's called the Captions app. So it'll, automatically populate what you're typing. I was using that app to put words on for my TikTok videos. I wouldn't recommend doing that because TikTok does not support that app. So it knows when you've used the Captions app, and it'll remove or just really low views on your content for that. TikTok, I've definitely seen a huge increase in discovery calls and new clients from it for sure. I'm not sure what it means by not organic though on TikTok. TikTok did actually come out with a promotions one, so you can promote your videos now. That's just been in the last couple days. There's not really any rules around it. It doesn't seem like that they haven't come out with terms and conditions on what you're allowed to promote versus what you're not allowed to promote. So right now it's kind of fair game for anything. So I don't know if they're going to come out and say, no, you can't promote X, Y, and Z. I know on Facebook, there's really strict advertising policies. And if you advertise something that they don't want you advertising, you get it shut down. Like I did one advertising a number of years ago on Facebook, and I got my ads account shut down. So I can never run ads again, which is fine. So I don't want to run into the same issue on TikTok. So I'm a little bit leery about what that is. And it just seems so new that you don't want to spend too much money on that.
Yeah, to add to that TikTok point, I think, Breanne, like it may, in the future, they may come with restrictions. They are still new, so they don't have it. And until then, if you can, well, quote unquote, exploit that opportunity, then one should absolutely take advantage of that, because very soon, if there's a possibility that they might very soon not do, they will be restricted by the rules and the regulations. So like Facebook is now under fire because of that. So if you can take advantage of that right away, please go ahead and do that right away.
Yeah. Question here about captions on Instagram. So it used to be that Instagram didn't have their own way to apply captions to your videos. So at the start, I was just typing what I said out and it was taking forever. Then I found the Captions app that allowed me to do it. Now, if you record an Instagram story and you just swipe up like you would to add the GIF or whatever that is with the stickers, there is a button that says captions. So Instagram has its own captions generator. I would just recommend using that. They're happier when you use their own stuff. Erica asked, is it hard to filter out patients that aren't living in Ontario? Yeah, it's extremely hard. So most of my following from TikTok is US based. There's more people on TikTok from the US. So that is a challenge for individuals who can only see patients in Ontario, absolutely. That's why I have a team of individuals that practice in different places where I can refer them to that, or my health coaches can work with individuals one-on-one. That's something that we do as well. But yes, if you're licensed in Ontario for a naturopathic doctor, obviously you can only see people in Ontario.
To add to that point, we can also use some geofencing restrictions in order to make sure that whoever is coming in and are able to see certain pieces of your websites, if you don't want certain geographies to come and interact with you, we can put restrictions on your site that allows the users from only certain geographies to interact with you. So you know that you're not getting unnecessary demand for that you cannot fulfill.
Yeah, and I mean, your link can say Ontario only, right? Definitely for that. The other thing too is these apps are very smart. They show you things based off of your area, right? So I have so many individuals from the city I live in who see my stuff because we're in the same city. So your phone knows where you are. It's going to show you things based off of around where you are. Like half my TikTok is Ontario lockdown videos that are funny, right? So it knows that I'm in Ontario to provide me with that type of information. What education requirements do you look for in a health coach? I have a registered psychologist as a health coach. I have an NLP practitioner as a health coach, fitness background, nutrition background. For me, it's more about, are they coachable? Are they trainable? Do they want to learn? Can they communicate with people? Can they motivate individuals? Are they good at sales? Can they do their own marketing? Those are things that I would look for.
Okay. Well, I think that's, well, we had a great round of quick Q&A there and great questions from everyone. Thank you, guys. To make sure that we are aligned with the time and all the couple of things that I wanted to mention here. When we started off marketing this, we were offering a free website, a contest. So we will be closing that contest in 1 minute. So if you haven't yet followed us on Instagram or put your email in the landing page, please go ahead and enter the contest. You can win the free website, and it's always great to have a great website. We are a Scale of 42 website concierge program. Jeannie, my colleague, will put a link in the chat bot as well as the email that we'll follow up with. We can also, Health Buddha, as you can see over here, is one of our new platforms that we are launching very soon. Today is the day when we are launching the Health Buddha platform, which connects practitioners to different kinds of practitioners, any kind of different kinds of professionals and patients. So please visit healthbuddha.ca. It's an invite-only platform, which is going to be available until end of July 31st. Whoever signs up for that, we will give you a free professional account, which would otherwise cost $100 a month or $99 a month for the rest of the year. So they will get 12 whole months of free access to Health Buddha's professional listing account. So please visit healthbuddha.ca and invite yourself to be a part of that. It was going to be an invite-only platform until we have reached a point where we can open it up for others. Website concierge program, if you go to scaleof42.com, you can go to programs and you can go to website concierge program. There you will find all the things that we have, that we offer under the website concierge, the free website that we are giving away. We will be announcing the winner in the email as well as on Instagram, and we will tag you as well. So please make sure that you keep an eye on Instagram. It would take within 2 hours, we'll be doing that. And finally, if you are looking for a website and you don't have a website, or you want to revamp your website or marketing campaigns, do any of that, reach out to us. My email is in the chat as well. Whoever decides to get a website in case they don't win the contest, but they still want a website, then we will be giving away 25% discount on the website development part for the rest of the year. So go to website concierge program, check it out. It's $99 per month, but we will be giving you for only $75 a month on that one. And we will manage, you will build, design, manage your website. So anything that will help you help our practitioner community to become stronger on digital space, in the digital space, and be able to put themselves, like create that digital presence. We are here to support you. And that's it from my end. Breanne, you have some closing thoughts?
I think that's amazing. I have to say that my website looks amazing now compared to what I whipped up previously. And again, having that tracking and that insight to why individuals might not be doing a certain behavior on your website is really important. Sometimes, and I didn't even realize, it's just where the button is or the color that it is. So those things do matter, and having someone who understands that and can test and modify different variations of your website can make a huge difference. So thank you for doing mine.
You're welcome. It's still not over. We're still working on it. There are a few things to be done.
Yeah. Work in progress always.
Yeah, always. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Breanne, thank you so much again for joining us. I really appreciate it. And have a great day, everyone.